Show you more. Oh, how about I use the other side? There we go. This car has a lovely lawn dial top. Well, it did have. Welcome to RCindustry. Well, hey, it's Rick here, and the brake calipers finally came in for the old limelateda. So let's get that thing up here and let's change out the one on the right side, or the passenger side, or the drinker side, whatever everybody calls it different things. But let's do that one because that way I can show you, the new spindle we put on there, and well, I won't be able to show it all because the rotor's on there. But anyway, we can kind of take a look at that too. So thanks for coming along. Show you more. All right, so what we got here is the, of course, the old caliper. Here's the new one, and it appears to be the same. So we're going to pull it off there and make sure. Now, this is actually a product of Mexico instead of China, so that's maybe a good thing. I don't know. Let's see if we can get this thing off of here. Now, also on this side, if you remember in the earlier videos, we talked about this braided line, or this rubber line, because it's not leaking, but it's got. Let me see if I can show you. I mean, she's about ready to go. So anyway, let's see if we can get this pulled off of here, and just see what we got. All right, show you more. Okay, well, I think the same people that have been doing all the other maintenance must have tried to get this brake line off. The one on the other side's been changed. You can see it's a new one, but this was all rounded off, so I took my line wrench and worked it on there, but she's not wanting to do too good, so I'm going to heat that up with the torch, or the little propane torchy thing I got, benzomatic, or whatever that type of, it's not propane in it, it's a different kind of gas, whatever. But I'm going to heat that up and see if we can break this loose, because I don't want to have to replace a brake line. So let's see what we get into. I always like to tighten this up just a little and then try to break it loose. Let me get down in here where I can see that too. Oh yeah, she's a breaking loose. Problem is I had to drive this thing on here, so I'm gonna have to drive that back off there. Ow, that's hot now. Hello. There we go. Okay, so she's loose and fluid's wanting to come out. So, all right. So let's take it loose down here at the caliper. Now, the other thing I noticed was the new brake line here, which I shot right here. It all looks the same here and everything, but I ain't got no copper washer, and I'm thinking there should be a copper washer on that. Kick it! So anyway, let's pull this off, pull the caliper off, and then let's see what we got here. Alright, show you more. Okay, well, from first appearance these things look the same, so I'm guessing, and this did have a copper washer on it, so I'm gonna, since I don't have a new one, I'm gonna reuse the old one and make sure it doesn't leak. And so let's get this thing buttoned up with the new copper, or the, kick it! Let's get this thing buttoned up with the new flexible line and a washer, and we'll get it on there and open up this drain plug thingy. Well, I guess it's already open, and let this start filling up, and let's see if it works. Alright, show you more. Okay, well, I got the caliper put back on, so let's see if we can get this. And I'm not showing a lot of this, guys, because, I mean, if you watch my channel all the time, I mean, we've done this many times, so let's see if we can get this clip over here. Not this here, but as far as, you know, changing out the calipers or putting disc pads on, and I mean, there's a lot of videos about that. And you guys probably already know how to do that. Well, they say that money can't buy everything, but it could probably buy me some better tools, you know? Yeah. Might buy me a boat and a truck to pull it. Yeah. Okay, that should pop down out of there. And I got this pinched off with these pliers here, so hopefully it's not running down everywhere. So let's see if we can get this. I'm hitting this part here because that just fits up in there. There we go. Okay. Now let's try to do this without losing too much oil, whatever. Brake fluid, brake oil, you know. I think you know what I'm talking about. There's that. That one's gone. And I've got the bleeder open over here on this one, so let's see if we can get that started before we get too carried away with making sure that's up in the. I believe that's started. Oh, how about I use the other side? There we go. Now that moved on me. You'll have that now and again. Let's get that up here. Let's put that key back in there. That just holds that eccentric up inside this bracket and keeps it from turning on you. You know, otherwise she's going to turn on you. Oh, come on now. This thing just don't want to cooperate. Just fit on there one way because it's so stripped. I think that's it right there. There. Oops! You guys are getting in the way. There. I don't want to break him off. All right. Show you more. Okay, so we got our bleeder open here, and we're going to let that gravity feed for a little bit. Let's get this old line out of here, and you can see this thing was really bad. I mean, she was about ready to go. Alright, so we got that out of there. Now I'm going to put my jar of goodie over here, and that's just old brake fluid. And I'm going to put my line on here, because I ain't got nobody to help me bleed these, so I'm going to stick this other end of this down in this fluid. I don't know if you can see that. That way it's, you know, the bottom of this, so it won't suck air back up in here. So, and it will suck a little of this nasty fluid, but, you know, not much. So we're going to make sure this is opened up, and it is. And then I'm going to go take the lid off of the master cylinder here, and so that way we can keep adding fluid till this reservoir, you know, because it's got to fill, like on this old one here, it's got to fill this whole thing up. So, all right, show you more. Yeah, let's pop this off of here. Oops. You can see she's pretty full. So let's see if anything's coming out of there. Looks like it's a dripping out of there. Yeah, she's coming out and it's clean. So it must have filled this reservoir up here in the, or this cylinder. So, all right. Okay, so we got that all buttoned up, and I kind of wanted to show you what I did here. There's a lot of you, about 147,000 of you actually, that have viewed the short I did on this axle nut being welded on. And without the, of course, there's always the negative comments and the rude comments, and I just delete those. But just to kind of clarify, we did replace the spindle, so you can see here we've got a proper and the correct bearing in it now, and we also have a nut on it and a castle lock with the pin through it, and we torqued that down. Ford, I know everybody does it differently, tighten it and then loosen it and all that. Ford says that you're supposed to, as you're turning it slowly, tighten it to, I think it's 24 foot-pounds, back it off 1/2 turn, and then as you're turning it, torque it to 10. Then move it ahead forward to the first hole and put your pin in it, and that's good to go. So that's the way we did this. And so, everything's back together. A lot of you that commented on the short, now I'm not talking about the actual video where we took it apart. They were like, oh, that's junk, throw it away, blah, blah, the car's no good, and it probably had too many miles on it. The car only has 83,000. I really think what happened was the bearing in here, if you watched the video where I took, and showed everything and compared all of it, the race and bearing were just absolutely destroyed. And I would say that the outer wheel bearing was vibrating and working itself loose, because the little tabs that are on this were sheared clear off from where it had spun against probably originally the cotter pin, but then they had a nail through there after they welded it, which I don't know why they put the nail in there. I mean, that weld wasn't going to come off. So, but anyway, but they left the old bearing in it is the problem. So and that was all why it was so noisy. Now it rolls free and everything's good. So I'm going to tap this back on here. And always hit these on the outer edges to get them in there. You never want to smack it here. This old boy does know a thing or two, even though we make stuff like brand used. I don't really want to fool around with and make mistakes on the front end of this thing or the brakes, because I plan on driving this car, and we're definitely driving it down to Sikeston. So anyway, enough of my ranting and raving. Let's get this thing back together. Show you more. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming along. I'm going to whip over on the other side of the car and put that other caliper on, and then I got to run them back to the parts store and get my core charge back, and we should be buttoned up with the brakes, except for the line that we got to put on from the back down to the back axle. So that one's bad too. It's not leaking, but it's ready to go anytime. So don't want that going out when I'm going across the bridge down there at Sikeston, or actually down there at Cairo. So anyway, whatever. Be sure and like and share. Don't forget about the No Name Nationals. It's coming up September. I'll put the show bill in somewhere along in here. And remember, if you haven't gotten out there and subscribed to all the folks that are still trying to get their 500 subscriptions, you should do that. And I guess we just keep making it like brand used here, baby. Run, Tallulah, run! Hi, baby.